Hello, very good evening. Tailwind CSS is a framework that allows us to easily design and customize our complete web layout without requiring to do the detailed CSS styling and coding, even without requiring to do much HTML coding. In this lecture, we will use Tailwind CSS along with TailBlocks that will be used to create a website very quickly and very simply. Using these two, we will be able to design and create our entire website very quickly, very easily, simply by copy pasting the code. And the target is to complete a website very quickly within 10 minutes, the entire structure of a complex website, which typically would require hours. So for example, in this particular system, we will create a simple tourism website structure with a header, with titles, with the first two bars, with an image and navigations, with multiple content, and all this content area, the CSS, the HTML, the design, the layouts, is simply copy pasting. Within 10 minutes, you can create entire thing. This entire web layout we will be creating within 10 minutes. And then once this first page is created, copy paste it and create multiple pages, structure it, design it using what we called a simple Tailwind CSS structure. We will be installing it. We will be using something called Tailblocks CSS with customized pre-built structure, copy pasting it to design our entire website. My name is Dr. Shan Bhatti. If you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit that bell icon so that you receive these notifications regularly. Let's begin. Okay, now, so basically the simple thing that I want to discuss now is called Tailwind CSS. This is a simple CSS framework that uses flexbox structure to design, style, and organize HTML components on your web page. So for example, this is an HTML component and you want to create it, design it, and display it on your website. Okay, so in order to do that, we use this framework. This is similar to what we call Bootstrap. This is similar to Bootstrap. So just the way the Bootstrap works, this also works in a similar manner. Similar manner, not exactly in the same manner, but this is primarily focused on flex grids. So we use this. Now the advantage here is that using this particular framework, I will show you how you can design and create a complete website within 10 minutes. Okay, so if you follow me right now and just watch me, we will create a complete website within 10 minutes. And I will try to give minimum explanation so you understand what we are trying to do. And then a simple website can be created using this framework very quickly. So let me open brackets. And as soon as brackets is open, we will start and we'll create a simple project. I think the there we go. Okay, let me close this. Oops. Okay, so for example, I create a new file. I gave it an HTML tag and \HTML tag. Okay, save it and let's go back into our folder that we typically use, BSID morning. Let me create another folder here, TOURISM tourism, PAK. Okay, and I go inside it. And the first file I create is index.html. Okay, so now let's begin. Now, so for example, the target is that I want to create a website within 10 minutes. How should we do that? Okay, so we do that by using something called tailwind.css. Tailwind.css is a framework that allows us to create a very simple and very professional looking website within 10 minutes. Very quickly, very easily, and with minimum amount of coding. With minimum amount of coding, you can create any website, any professional website from scratch with your own pattern and designs and layouts within 10 minutes using this Tailwind CSS. Technically, this Tailwind CSS is a very complex and long framework, and you can customize it, you can do lots of things with it. But luckily, when you use this framework, there are certain people who have pre-built a certain sections for you. So you do not need to write the code from scratch. All you do is you do copy paste whatever component you need and you place it on your website and just change the content of it. So you won't be required to do coding. You just need to understand the fundamentals of HTML and CSS and then copy paste the code and change the content that you want to do. And you then create a website absolutely quickly. So if I don't explain it and if I do minimum explanation, let's do that absolutely quickly. So the website that I'm going to use is called tailwindCSS.com. Okay, let me again highlight, make it more prominent so you can see this, tailwindCSS.com. This is a website that we use. Tailwind CSS, if you come onto this website, this is a complete framework and it has lots of features inside it. So if you want to get started, click on get started button. So as soon as you get started, you will come to documentation and it will tell you lots of ways you can use this Tailwind CSS. There are lots of functionalities, lots of CSS, and if you work with it, it will obviously takes its time. What my target is to build a website using Tailwind within 10 minutes. So what I do is I come into installation. So within, if you scroll up, there is a link called installation. So I click on installation. This will tell you how you can install Tailwind CSS framework. And there are various different ways of doing it. Okay. If you read through it, you will understand it. But what I need to do is I need to just forget everything, scroll down, and at the end there is something called using CDN. The way CDN works is that it allows you to directly use the framework from the server. And you do not need to download it, you don't need to install it, you do not need to configure it. All you need to do is just copy this link, right click, copy, come into your brackets, give a head tag, okay, and inside this head tag paste this. We know all link tags go inside the head tag. Within link tag, there is a href pointing to the Tailwind CSS file on a particular server. So I don't need to install it, I don't need to download it, I don't need to configure it, I just provide this link. Now this would basically mean my Tailwind framework is installed and done and configured for me. I don't have to do anything with it. My framework is already configured. That's the beauty of it. So that's just like a 1 minute. Then we come here, we go inside the body and we have a body code available. Now we need to start putting the components here. So we go back into my Tailwind, the installation is done. If I want to customize it, create from scratch, read all these components, all these sections, the layouts, the containers, the entire documentation is there. My target is that I have very few minutes. So I come to another website called tailblocks.css. Okay, so if I come here, tailblocks.css. This is another website that I will use. So I use Tailwind CSS to get the CDN link. Then I go inside the tailblocks.css. This is another website. What this website is, it's actually a GitHub sublink. So some guy or somebody, I exactly don't know his name, or the team of people basically, what they did was they customized and they created the code for us. They put the source code for us. And now they say that if in order to use this component, all you need to do is come on our website and you will find on this left panel, all these wonderful components pre-coded for us. So if I come here, in order to create this blog layout template, the code is already there. If I go into view code, here on the top, you will find this button, view code. The code is there. All I need to do is just copy it, paste it in my section and my code is done. My website is created. I don't have to manually go create an HTML for it. HTML for the image, HTML for the heading, subheading, text, links, buttons, icons, then go inside the CSS, apply CSS for it and create all this process. Takes a lot of time. So typically a website might, to create this, I might need to do 1 hour of coding. Here, this thing is already coded for me using Tailwind CSS. The CSS styles that they've applied is for Tailwind CSS. So all I do is I come on this website. I said, let's do one very quickly thing. Come here and you will find all these contents are already coded for us. This entire website structure, whatever we want is already there for us. What we need, we just come here and we just copy paste the code. So I start, if you scroll down, you will find very wonderful features that are already coded for us. We start from the header. So for example, I need this header. These are different ways you can use these headers. So in my case, for example, I said I like this header, in fact this one, right? So I have my logo, I have my title of my page, I have my links and a button or a login button or what I can do. And then obviously I can customize it. So what I do is I go inside the view code, my code is available, I say copy to clipboard, the code is copied. Go back into your Tailwind, inside your body, usually I like to give comments. So I say header navigation and then I paste it, save it. As soon as I save the code, my header is applied. Let me click on the live link. And oops, something happened. why it's not applying. Header class, refresh. Oh, okay, here we are. Sorry. So I just need to refresh the code. So as soon as I come back here, you will find that my contents or my navigation bar is already created for me with my logo, with my content, with my link. So now I do here is very quickly I come into the Tailwind blocks title. Now I just need to understand where the changes I need to do. So in this case, Tailwind blocks, for example, I can say TOURI, tourism website. Okay. So I'm creating a tourism website or any title I want, and I can give links here. So for example, places, or for example RESTAURA restaurants, for example, for the location, or I can say PAKIS Pakistan tourism website. Okay, so this makes more sense now. Restaurants, places, historical locations, I can say hotels, and if I need to add more link, I just need to copy this A, paste it, and I can give here, for example, mosques, and save it. As soon as I save it, I go back inside my code, and here it is. So Pakistan tourism website, my links are updated. Simple as that. Then I go back inside my Tailwind. Now I said, okay, I have the header, I need the next page. So I said, okay, the next page, what it should be. Maybe this thing, maybe this thing. These are different components that are already created for us. Okay, so all you do is you just select the component or the content you need and you paste it on your web page. As simple as that. And this will, by this way, you can create your website absolutely quickly. So in my case, for example, I start with this thing. Let me find a header text. So now what we do is we need to find the components. So if all you need to do is now, for example, I can come here on the content area. These are various different ways it allow you can design your contents. So I start with, for example, I don't want text. I need a header. So I can select this thing, for example. Okay, so I have this components or maybe these two components. Okay, so let's just say, okay, I start with double image header. So I just select this component, go inside the view code, the code is available, copy it, go inside your brackets, and after your header is closed, before you do the body, okay, so remember the sections where you start and end. So this was my navigation header. After this, I come back here, give a comment, and then I will do is I'll give a, for example, section 2 image gallery, image header, for example. Okay, so giving comments will allow you to know which section you are working on and which section or the purpose of each section. So do ensure you give your own understandable comments so that you can follow it very quickly and easily, that which section does which particular purpose. So what we did now is we simply copy pasted the code. Okay, so we had this code available, we copied it, and then we came back inside my sections, we pasted. Okay, once I save it, I go back inside my file, and now you will note that my section is there. So my Tailwind, the website header was there, and this section is there. All I need to do is I go back inside the code, and now I can change this content area. Okay, so for example, I can say welcome to Pakistan. Okay, come back here, and now welcome to Pakistan. Or for example, I can write welcome to whatever city you want to represent. In other words, Islamabad. Okay, and I have a welcome to Islamabad. Or in the second city, I can say, for example, welcome to Karachi. Okay, and then now as soon as I save it, I have these two options available. I can give a brief description about these cities, an image of both those cities, a button to take me to that particular page of Islamabad, and I can have more information with it. My one page is started to create. I go back inside my Tailwind CSS and I say, okay, the next section can be more images of a particular place. So let's just come back into content area, and maybe we can have these images for various different locations, or maybe these images for a smaller icons. So see, all these components are there, but because we are building a tourism website, I said, okay, these images would look more prominent. So I click on this, I copy the code. Let me come back here. After this section, just remember where your section is ending. So after each section, you just paste the code. That's the main trick. So I gave a comment and I said this becomes my section 3, remembering that first was my header. Section 3, again image icons, for example. I come here and paste it. So once I paste it, save it, go back inside my website, it's refreshed. My title, first, second block. If you scroll down, the third block is already created. So no coding required, no detailing going, no detail styling, no detail HTML content. All I'm doing is I'm going inside my website, I'm finding the appropriate sections, copying it and pasting it, and I have it here. The hard work now that I need to do is change the content, whatever text I want to display. So whether it's a tourism website, whether it's your personal website, biography website, a product website, whether it's a shopping application, whether it's a website for a product, you can design your components, your requirements as you like, and just simply come here and change the content area. Okay, so for example, if this is my location, okay, this can be, for example, places to visit in Pakistan, and I can write a text description here, and then within this I can give subtitles. For example, it can be Murray, okay, and I can give an image here. So if I need to change this image, I need to find an image of Murray and then just change the image tag. So only coding or the understanding of the coding I require now is to know which image I have to edit. In this case, image this thing, okay. So you can use this link, or sorry, this src, and give your own image name here. The size of the image in this particular case is supposed to be 720 by 400. Now this size is given because it wants you to make sure your image is within this particular boundary. If you give a bigger image, you might just have to do certain coding with that. So my image structure is already there. I save it, and if I refresh it, here we go, Murray is there, and the link is oh, I haven't changed that. Okay, so all you need to do is Murray, the hill station of Pakistan. Okay, so this is H3 and this is H2. So what I can do in fact is, so now it makes the hill station of Pakistan, Murray becomes my link. Similarly, I can create more content area within these links and give more options with it. The only option now remaining is that this is not linkable. If I click on it, nothing happens. What if I click on it? It takes me to the page of Murray with image galleries and description with that. So what I do is I come here and I find this image tag. Okay, and I can now customize my own code. So a src, a h reference is equals to, and I can give a link to it. Okay, and close this tag. After the image, I give backslash here. So now what this will mean, that my image is converted into a link. Okay, save it, come here, and now if you see, your image is linked. This is not, but now this image is a link. So we know that a tag creates a link. So wherever we want to do some customization after the template, you can do that yourself as well, knowing which tag is required. So for example, same link you want to be required at your text. Currently this text is not clickable, or you can add a button here as well, or a link here as well. So if you want this text to be as a link as well, so all I do is I take this H2, I find this content area which I want to click, and before that content area, I give another a tag, h reference is equals to bracket start bracket close, and this closing a tag will go backslash here. So now if I'm doing correctly, okay, and refresh this page, here we go. So now the hill station of Pakistan is again as a link. This is also a link, this text is not. So you do similar customization and your website structure is already there. Now just change the content, download the images, put the images in the links, and give a description if it is required. If you don't want to give a description, just delete this text and you have a particular website being formed. Similarly, let's just go back here, add few more components to it. Now maybe I want more description about the places. So I can come on to e-commerce link, and you can see this here. We have small thumbnails of an image with these categories and price tags. Maybe I want to put this as a image gallery, or there is a separate link where we can add image gallery ourselves as well. So in order to do that, all you need to do is you can find the image. I think there was a gallery feature here. If you scroll down, header, hero, pricing, statics, team. So all these components are there, so you can use this as well, for a people, for a person, for a locations. I think there was a gallery link here somewhere. If I scroll down too quickly, here it is. So this is an image gallery link available. Okay, so what this has, master or description, if you want you can remove this and just have this information available for yourself. You can use this type of image gallery as well. If I come here, you can see this an unordered image gallery as well, with the smaller images, one bigger image, and this is a very nice and cool pattern. So I, for example, want to use this. So what I do, I first copy this, go inside it, copy the content area, again come back here. After this section ends, again I will just give a comment, image a gallery of places and locations, and paste the code here. Okay, and if I go back inside my website, refresh the page, so I have my links, my one section, the second section I added, and the third section is here. Okay, and you can see this, the third section is already created for us. So this is a bigger section with big images that you can use. Okay, the size of the images is already given, 600 by 380. So you can give this, because this is a tourism website, I need more links, I have the options here. Then let me just add one more section to this particular place. For example, I want to do e-commerce. Where was e-commerce, testimonials, and feature e-commerce. So this is another description I want. So I click on this image, preview, copy the code, go back inside here, and again I will just give some comments. Image gallery for e-commerce type. Okay, and paste it. Okay, once I come back inside my HTML, refresh the page, and after this big images, you will have e-commerce links available. Now I think there is a small overlapping, maybe refreshing is required, and you should be able to see this links available. But I think there is an conflict here. Maybe these sections are not properly closing. BR and BR. Sometimes the spacing creates the problem. Yes, I think it's overlapping. So maybe I don't give this section, because again these images were too big for me. So I delete it, Control S, delete this BR and delete this section. Control S, come back here, hit a refresh, and now it's better. Okay, so now you see places to visit. This is a one way of describing your places to visit with description. Then if I come down, I have an e-commerce kind of a template where I have an image, category, catalyzer, and a price. So what I can do is, the idea is to do some customization in this thing. So if I come back here, you would see that there is a price tag. So if I don't want to show the price, or instead of price, maybe I can show some other content here, click here, link here. So instead of this price, I can say, for example, click here for more. Okay, so once I come back, so you have a click here for more link. And similarly, you can change the content. If you don't want this content to be displayed, for example, paragraph, I don't want it, I can comment this, and I can hide all these content area, and simply they will be disappearing. Okay, so in this case, click here for more, but there is no pricing here, and I have a price here. I can give images here of this resolution that is being provided to me. The title categories are there. All I need to do is just change this content area, and my website is already created. Finally, to close off your website, you go inside the Tailwind again, and at the bottom you will find footer area. Okay, so you can have all these cool looking footer description for your particular web page. In my case, I can say, okay, I have this link, and I can just say this one is fine for me. Save code, copy it, go again inside your code. After the section area, comment my footer section and paste it, save it, and go back into your website, refresh it, and you will find your Tailwind section is here. So now see, the entire website you can create very quickly, very easily, by simply copy pasting the sections that you need. The more sections you want to include, you can have that as well. Okay, look at these image sections here. So I can copy these sections. Sometimes what it does is, like we did previously, it did overlapping. So just we need to be careful about those overlapping sections. Do ensure you give comments so that you understand as soon your code starts to big increase. You comments help you to understand where each section ends and where you want to add another section. Okay, more section content of images, for example, and then I paste here. So if I have a comment, I know where I would be ending and where I will be beginning new section. And when I save it, restart it, I have my component. So anytime I can add a component, anytime I can remove a component, everything is there. The master section is there. So for example, I don't need this title area or this content area. I can come here after the mental, I just delete this thing. Sir? Okay, and yes, I'm just closing 1 minute. So this content is here, the title is there. The only thing you need to be aware of that sometimes it adds the extra spaces. Okay, see this, after each section there is certain extra space because you are creating in terms of blocks. So for that we look out for something called padding Y and MX for what we call margin. We have discussed paddings and margins in CSS previously as well. So what it does is it creates margin bottom, for example, is 20. MB usually M stands for margin and P stands for padding. So PY would basically means that Y padding in Y axis. So in this case from 12 I can say only 2. Margin bottom basically means that after this content area, after this div, there will be 20 pixel gap. So after this content area there's a 20 pixel gap. So if you want to remove that, you can say just give me 4 or 5 area. So just control the spacing by controlling the PY and MB or M top or MY axis. So this is where simply we can control some of the spacing within my section. So if I save it, come back here, hopefully if I refresh it, there will be a little bit less space between my content area. Okay, so see this, the less space. Now previously there was more. After this master content that we are edited, there's now less space here before the footer. So similarly, you can control the space as well and control the entire website layout. Okay, so hopefully this becomes easy. Now the only change is that once I have the structure, I go into it, change the text, change the content, change the images, and my website is created. Save this page, then similarly create multiple other pages as well. Just copy paste the first heading tag so that this becomes remain same, and each section you can just simply copy and paste the content area, and this will allow you to create a website very quickly, very simply, within even 10 minutes. Okay, so I hope it becomes self-explanatory and understandable. Okay, so any questions, anything you don't understand, do let me know and I will try to help you out with that.